Hey guys, I'm Nick and welcome back to the channel. Well, today we're talking about episode 2 of the Orville season 3, entitled Shadow Realms. This was the horror episode, or the suspense thriller episode, where we got crew members turning into monsters, running through the hallways in the dark, jump scares, and all that sort of stuff. That it always tends to be a sci-fi episode that tends to err on the side of the horror movie or the suspense thriller episode. And this seems to be the Orville's take on that. Guys, if you haven't subscribed to Sci Fanatics yet, please go ahead, click on that big red button to stay up to date and current with all the latest sci-fi TV news on YouTube. So after seeing episode 1, I was a little bit concerned that the Orville had lost its sense of humour, and that I sort of reserved my judgment. I thought, oh, well, okay, this is just episode 1. Let's reserve our judgment to episode 2 and see how things pan out. And again, not really any comedy in this episode. I think the reason I started watching the Orville is because I love Star Trek. I wanted to see good Star Trek episodes on TV, and that's what the Orville gave us back when it started, back in a time when all we had was Star Trek Discovery. Don't get me wrong, I love the Orville. The Orville is a great show. What makes the Orville special to me, and what makes the Orville shine, is its sense of humour. Love Seth MacFarlane's comedies, love Family Guy, I loved, A Million Ways to Die in the West, and I think he's an amazing comic talent, great comic timing. The voices that he does and the characters that he does on all of his shows are so funny, and that's probably one of the main reasons I first started getting into the Orville, because I love Seth MacFarlane. He's a great maker of entertainment, and that entertainment really shines, I think, when it's working towards its strengths of its sense of humour. And I'm really struggling to find a sense of humour in this season of the Orville so far. So hopefully in the subsequent episodes this season, I'm really hoping we get a little bit more of that Seth MacFarlane sense of humour come into the show a bit more. And it's not just a Star Trek ripoff, which was what we needed when the Orville first started. But now we have Strange New Worlds and stuff. Let's get back to what made the Orville special, which is, in my opinion, the sense of humour that it had. So obviously this episode saw Admiral Christie, Dr. Finn's ex-husband, come onto the ship, spreading out into Krill's space. The Krill now with this tentative alliance, they get to explore a bit of the Krill territory, and they're using that opportunity to go and explore some areas of space that maybe shouldn't be explored. Maybe that just should be left quiet. In our kind of, our suspense thriller episode, we're venturing into the void where there's no stars. There's always Star Trek episodes or sci-fi episodes that have got voids with no stars. That's a bit of a staple too. And we got to see the Orville venture into this area of space and boldly going where no one has gone before. We did get one funny line, however, which I was glad to see, which was the one where Captain Ed Mercer was giving his sort of rousing speech to the crew as they embarked on a new journey, and he kind of threw in the "May the Force be with you" line at the end. That thing is about the only line of humour in the entire episode, but still, at least, I guess, we got one line of humour. I think consistently in this week's episode of Strange New Worlds, and for that matter, last week's episode of Strange New Worlds, I think I laughed out loud more in Strange New Worlds with a few little jokes in the script and everything in those episodes than what I've been doing in the Orville. So I think that's got to say something. When I'm laughing out loud more at Strange New Worlds than at the Orville, then it seems like something's askew. I think the space station they encountered in The Expanse was suitably creepy. I thought the production design was was very good. They had them walking through these kind of creepy, biological caves, I guess you'd call them, and doing what people should do on a first away mission to such a place. Well, number one, it's like, why aren't they wearing EV suits in this environment, which clearly would have been smart from the get-go. They did it the second time round on the second away mission when they had to go back to get more information. But first away mission, should you really be going into a weird alien, environment where, the Krill had warned them that it's full of demons and they take over possess your body and everything? Maybe let's take every precaution we possibly can and wear our EV suits on this one, because that would have been a much better idea for Admiral Christie's sake. And as soon as our away team is going into this creepy cave on the space station, and they start poking about at sort of strange flowers on the wall, it's like you're immediately thinking, dude, have you not watched any science fiction in your entire life? Where, you know, particularly on, you know, original series of Star Trek, every away team member that decided to poke a flower on a planet would obviously end up with spores of poison shot at them, or something equally as deadly. They clearly hadn't read that part of the field manual, I don't think. And was it just me, or did the flower things in the cave that opened up to I guess infect Admiral Christie, did they look like the reverse of a cake tin? Here's a cake tin that I got from my kitchen. The first thing I thought of on the thing was, yeah, like that looked like the things on the walls of the cave that shot the spores out. I thought the production designer on this episode has clearly moulded the flower things there on the walls of the cave from just your average, you know, cake tin. I thought the makeup was really good in terms of seeing Admiral Christie transforming into the monster, developing eyes and stuff on his forehead. I thought that was all quite well done. And then obviously once he'd completely transformed, I think the monsters looked sufficiently creepy. I think the way they moved and walked on the walls and the ceiling and everything, I think that was quite well done. That kind of elicited the right amount of sort of tension and fear in the episode. So that was a good aspect of the episode, I thought. And obviously we had to have the moment where there's a complete power outage all over the ship. Everything goes down so that our crew members are forced to walk through the hallways with nothing but flashlights to light their way, making it extra super creepy in this episode. I think, you know, obviously seeing Marcus and Ty, and they bumped into the other crewman who was also wearing a red shirt in this episode. It's like, he's wearing a red shirt, he's gone. Seeing him get spat in the face, having that immediate transformation, I thought was really well done. That was quite amazing transformation process, I thought. The right amount of scary and creepy and gross. I guess there was an attempt at a tiny bit of humour in the scene where Gordon was trying to tell Kelly how to take the power cell out of her phaser, or what do they call it on the Orville? I'm not sure what they call it, phaser or energy pistol or whatever it is. And then obviously Mercer basically does exactly the same kind of mansplaining routine to Kelly. I thought it was more condescending for poor old Kelly, who was doing her best to try to get the power cell out, rather than a humorous scene, I thought. But the chase between all of the monsters was really good. And then we had the fight scene in the cargo bay with Lieutenant Kayali, the security chief, and she obviously has that extra strength that her race has, so she's managing to throw the monsters around the cargo bay and crush them behind crates and everything, which I think was good. Good to see her using her super strength and it coming to, more than just the old opening of the pickle jar, as they tended to say quite regularly in the first season or two. And Dr. Finn obviously coming up with the cure in the end, which was a little bit, I guess, War of the Worlds or V style in its conclusion, where we just give them the common cold, or give them a very simple common cold that we as humans can very easily fight off, but their immune system was highly compromised. So I guess like the aliens in V, or like the aliens in War of the Worlds, they succumbed to the very simple virus, a staple science fiction solution for quite a few forms of entertainment over the years. So I guess they took a page out of those books for this episode. I thought the concluding scene was good too, between Dr. Finn and Isaac in the restaurant, where he sort of came in to check in on her, make sure she's okay, because she had to kind of, essentially put down her ex-husband. I guess there's been a lot of tensions in the last episode with Isaac, so I guess I guess that sort of is tending to get a little bit sort of smoothed over in this episode, I think, which seems, I guess, logical. So yeah, all in all, I liked this episode of The Orville. I thought it was had the right amount of horror and suspense and thriller and all that sort of thing. I just want to see a little bit more humour in more episodes, because I think we've seen Captain Pike in the last couple of weeks of Strange New Worlds crack more jokes than we have Captain Mercer in The Orville. So that's saying something. Leave your thoughts in the comment section, what you thought about this episode of The Orville, episode 2, entitled Shadow Realms. Yeah, please leave a super thanks if you're able to. It really helps the channel out. Much appreciated. Like and comment. If you can't leave a super thanks, that always helps as well. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already done so. And check out my merch in the merch store, where everything's 20% off at the moment. 20% on all my sci-fi, themed T-shirts and hoodies and mugs and caps and stickers, and yeah, it's all there, and it's 20% off for the next few days. So be sure to take advantage of that sale while it's around. Guys, I'll see you very soon for my next video. I'll catch you soon.